So when you're on here, you're looking at an E, a white key E, and it says, okay, you need to make it E flat. That means you're going to take it down to the black key over here. Okay. And then if you're looking at like a sharp, oop, went away. You're looking like at a D, and we want to make a D sharp, we take it up to the black key over there. Okay. So you're always looking at the white key, moving it up for those. And if you don't know those as much, it's not going to be super crazy, but just I want to give you a heads up for the game. Okay, so switching screens, we will look at the game, and it's somewhere on my screen. You pull up so many things that eventually you can't find anything else anymore. Okay, here we go. So first note coming at you. It's a treble clef note. And whoever is ready, get involved. Tell me what letter it is. So we're going to look at normal ones first. This one's not a sharp or a flat. It's just a normal white key. And think of the spaces. So we got to use the four spaces for treble clef, starting with the word face. Fill them in. Good, Zainab. Good, Nevaeh. Nice. Hi, Andrea. Welcome to Take Lessons. Good. So if you're from the bottom to top, filling in those four spaces, then you have F, A, C, E. So our bottom treble clef space is the F, which that's our first note. And F is located here on the piano. It's like to the left of the set of three black keys. All right, now we get a little hard one. So first of all, don't think if it is flat or sharp. What's the normal key it is first? And then take it down a notch. Good, Nevaeh. So who boogies down Fourth Avenue? Good, Zainab. So we're using the bass clef sayings for this one too now. Where would this be located if you tried to explain it to me? Would it be like the left of the set of three black keys, or would it be the left of the set of two black keys? Which one's the G flat on the piano? Left side of the three black keys or left side of two black keys? You can't like click it on here. So it's like, haha, you got to try and figure it out. Yeah, good, Zainab. Nice. So my G flat would be located either this one or this one. This game isn't specific. So I'm just going to select either one of these. But all the way on the left, I'm looking at a G, which is this. But because it's G flat, because it has a flat sign, I'm taking it down to that one. So face. Good, Zainab and Nevaeh. Good job. Good, Marie. Nice. So, for those of you who already got the answer, those you might not be figuring out, it's okay. So, face, use the second letter. That's the letter for this one. And then for those of you who have figured it out, is it the one all the way on the right of the set of three black keys, or is it the one all the way on the right of two black keys? Because sharps take us up a notch. Three all the way on the right, or two all the way on the right. I know it takes longer to type that one in too. So we would be looking at this key because this is our A, right? Face, F-A-C-E, second space. And we take it up a notch to our one all the way on the right of a set of three black keys. Okay. So using the acronyms, is it starting to help you a little bit to think, okay, I have a way to figure out all these spaces and lines? That's the point of the acronyms. It's a good trick. especially when you see a whole staff like this. So think face again. Third letter. Good job, Nevaeh. Mhm. Very good. Nice, Zainab. So you have third letter of face, F-A-C, because it's in the third space from the bottom. And we have sharp, so we're taking it up a notch. So here is a C, the white key. And to take it up for the sharp, it's the first of a set of two black keys. All right, like two more. I'm going to skip that one. There we go. Let's get some bass clef stuff. So we're going to use the saying about the cows. Which one was that one? Hey, Tracy, welcome to Take Lessons Live. Yes. So if you're just popping in, check out the Grand Staff cheat sheet because that'll help explain why we're doing this all of a sudden. So if you're using all cows, what to the grass, then you'll be good. It'll help find them for the spaces. Good. So this one is an E because all cows eat grass. Third space from the bottom and left hand. Good. Oops, I'm not selecting the right spot. I'm skipping, sorry. We did that one already. Okay, that one's an annoying one, so I'm not gonna do that. Uh, uh, why is it being mean to me? Okay, last one. If you don't want to tell me what it is in sharp, that's okay. So who boogies down, or no, grandma boogies down fourth. What's the last word of that saying? Hi, Lucy. Welcome to Take Lessons Live. I can. So if you need to, check out the chat for the Grand Staff cheat sheet. That'll help you locate what we're doing at the moment. We're switch gears in a minute, though. Good, Zainab. So we have grandma, boogies, down fourth. Fifth word is avenue. No, that's why it's an A, but it's an A sharp because there's a sharp sign next to it. So A sharp would be located right here on the staff or on the piano. Okay, so that is a trick for you guys to help you remember how to do all that. So as I'm explaining this, let me pull it up since a couple of you are popping in. Um, so you can look at it just in case sometimes it's hard to download this PDFs as class is going. So this is what we were looking at. This was our very first trick was memorize these acronyms. I promise it will help you. You'll have a way to locate all the notes in the staff, whether they be treble clef for the top ones or the bottom ones for bass clef. We didn't get any on the game that had the D, C, and B. Can I go fast? I don't know what that means, Nevaeh. But this is like the no man's land. It translates to the middle of the piano. So it can get a little tricky. But just remember that D sits under the treble staff and B sits on top of the bass staff. So you can kind of see it on that. C runs through, has a little line running through it. So it's a little better. Gary on social media asked, how about key signatures? So we actually have a separate class about key signatures, but it will, all of your little sharps and flats will be inside of specific spaces or lines. So you'll have to check out the key signatures class if you want to know those. Okay, so now we're going to go to trick number 2. As you're reading music, instead of always having to think, okay, it's in the B line, it's in the A line, it takes a little bit longer. Face, Grandma Boogie's down. It takes a little longer to do that. So there's a faster way. And this is what we call reading by intervals. An interval is the distance from one note to another note. So I'll show you some intervals on the piano first, where it'll make it a little easier to see. And I will have to take my face camera off because it doesn't like to run smoothly. So if the audio cuts out, it'll come back, I promise. Just give it like a couple seconds. Zainab can attest to that. So give me a second. Let me turn my face camera off so my fingers will match with my audio. Uh, all right, so we're gonna look at a couple of different intervals that we can learn. And this it relates, I promise. Oops, I know I turned my camera on. Okay, so an interval is the distance from one note to the next. So you have like C to D. This would be called a second because it's 1, 2. Okay. A third would be 1, 2, 3, 3 notes apart. We also call this a skip because you're skipping over one note, and a step because you're going to the very next note. And then you have fourths, 1, 2, 3, 4, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, and an eighth. We also call eighths octaves. So I'm going to show you a couple of different intervals on the piano, and I want you to tell me how far apart I'm playing. Just remember that you have to count the note that I start on and the note that I end on. So what would this be? How far apart? Yeah, good. I can hear a couple of you guys. Good job. Thank you, Zainab. Oh no, what happened? Sorry. Didn't think it was going to do that. Good. So this is my fourth. What about this? Yeah, good. Good, Marie, and this person who spoke to me, and Nevaeh. Good. All right. How about that? Good, Zainab. Yeah, good. No question mark needed. You're good. Good. A sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And something you'll see. Good. Fourths. And it's hard to see because I have small hands, but I am pinky and thumb all the way over there. Yes, good. What is the other word for this? We do call it an eighth. We have an Italian word we use as well. Does anybody remember or know it? I saw someone typing, that's why I'm waiting. Yes, good, Lucy. It's called an octave. Very nice. Okay, so now we're gonna see how this applies. Take that down so that we can go again. This is where reading music is really important, seeing it on the staff. So that will come up in a second. I can't have two browsers open at the same time. So, all right. And I'm also going to tell you a little extra trick for this. I'll type it in the chat because it's harder for me to say it and hear it at the same time. I promise it'll be better if I type it in. So what is this? You have to count the one you start on, meaning the space you're starting on, and you're going to the line you end on. Every single line in space equals a note. So I'll give you a second to think about it, and then I'll tell you and help you out. Here is a little helpful thing for you guys too. So we're starting on the space for this letter. Then we have a line, the space that sits on top of the staff, and then the line that goes through. So our C. So this is a fourth. It's a G to a C. Now, the reason this is helpful is that especially you're reading two notes at once. If you can recognize the shape of this, which it'll take a little practice, but you'll be able to read one note instead of having to read both notes. So you'll recognize, oh, that's a G or that's a C and a fourth down. So you'll be able to play it faster on the piano. But this is a trick to help you guys start getting this. So that was a fourth. What about this one? I'll tell you what I typed in the chat in a second too. Nice job, Tracy. Good. Good. Zainab. So starting on the line first, because that's our first one. Yeah, you can look at it as root too. So you have the line that I'm starting on, then I'm going down. So I have a space, a line, and a space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. A fourth. What about this one? Also called for those of you who already put it in. What else did I name that? I said a step and a skip. Which one was it? I'm only saying that because I use those words interchangeably. My brain does not differentiate. Good, Tracy. Or good, Lucy. There we go. Yeah. So a step, think of you're stepping to the very next note on the piano, not skipping over anything. Skips would be thirds and steps are seconds. Good. So let me tell you what I wrote in the chat there. I had 2, 4, 6, 8 space line. So anytime you see a space note like this one and a line note in the same grouping, that means it's going to be an even number, a 2, 4, 6, or an 8, automatically, 100% of the time. But if both of the notes are spaces or they're both through lines, it will be an odd number, a 3, 5, or a 7, or even 9, but we don't do 9s that often. So skip, see if we can find one. Hang on. So like this one. This is going to be an odd number because they're both through lines. Good, Michael. Good, Zainab. And Nevaeh, exactly. So now you have more of a 50-50 shot to get it right because you recognize they're both spaces. I mean, they're both in the lines. So it's an odd number, and you got it. A third, because I'm in a line, I have a space and another line. So this one is an even number. One of them is a space, and one of them is through the line. So is it a 2, 4, or a 6? 1 out of 3 chance for this one. Good. So that quickens the process of having to read all these notes. So in my brain, how I would read this is I'd see the bottom note and it's a fourth. So all I have to do is read the bottom note and then I'd know exactly what my top note is for this one. So it's a D and a fourth, which means a D and a G on the piano. Good. Odd number. Good, Michael. So this is especially helpful too as you get to the larger intervals. If you have a seventh, I don't even read sevenths that quickly. I usually second guess myself. But since they're both spaces or they're both in a line, then you'll know, oh, it's a seventh or oh, it's a ninth because they're both the same. So we're looking for those odd numbers. Good, Nevaeh. Good, Michael. Good. So a fifth, starting on a B, and we're going 5 notes up. So B, C, D, E, F would be that one. All right. Actually, let's skip this one. I'm looking for one more. Okay, this one. Last one. More music, no school. You gotta learn the basics, fundamentals. We'll get to the fun stuff in a second, Nevaeh. Good, Tracy. And Nevaeh and Zainab, good. So we have an odd number, both through the lines. A third. All right. So how does this actually apply to your music? We're going to pull up Ode to Joy and my piano so that you can see how everything's gonna work. We're not gonna do left hand, and this is just if you probably already played this before, that's okay. We're just gonna use it to help you see where reading intervals will really help you. So think in steps, seconds, and skips, thirds. So if it goes to the from a line to a space or a space to a line, it's just going up the piano. So I'm gonna start. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I have to take my face off again. You don't see all of it. Oh, is my face in the way? Neve? Okay. So we're starting on what letter? This is the right position. What's my first letter? I'm not gonna give that away to you guys. Good, Zainab and Tracy and Lucy. Good job. So we have an E to start with. Now, steps and skips also translate to your hand. If I'm using my third finger, I'm not going to skip over my finger. I'm going to go to the very next finger. So I have two notes that are right back to back, an E and an E, because they're right parallel across. This is what we call a first or a unison note. Then we have a little above, the same note, a little down, a little down, a little down, a little down, same note, a little up, same, and then a little down in the same one. So instead of having to read E, E, F, G, G, I can just go E, E, up, down, 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 up, same, down. I don't have to read all the letters. So that's why I teach you to go by intervals, or at least understand the concept a little bit. So, who has questions on this? Because this one's a really good trick. I promise this will speed your ability to play piano a lot if it makes sense to you. I'll do another line. Actually, let's do this line. It's a little bit different. The other line is almost exactly the same. Sure, Danielle. You can play short songs at the end of the class if you'd like. But we're only gonna be, doing audio this time, no video for you guys. So for this one, I'm starting on a D. I'm gonna do the same up and down skip thing that I was doing before. So I'm starting on D. I have the same note, a little up, and then I have a skip. So from E to C, E, C, and then a little up, up, down, skip. So I have another E to C, then up, up, down, 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 up. Okay, so I do that one more time. D, up, skip down, up, down, skip, up, up, down, 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 down. And your last note is over here for the melody. Because you're probably like, where's the last one? So that will help you. You get it? Cool. So that will help you in reading your music faster. That is trick number 2 for you guys. The last trick you're not going to like. I always say that because nobody ever likes that. You just have to put in the work to learn all of your stuff. So here is an example. Give me a second. I need to do something really quick. All right. So this is not for you guys to play right now. That's not the point of this. If you can play this, that's great. You're probably already really good at reading music. But this is more to help you put forth the effort to get all of your notes down in your head. So as you're seeing this, it looks scary. There's a lot of blackness, a lot of ink on this page. But this is really to get you to read a lot of notes and just put forth the work to read all these notes. So my suggestion for you guys is take this entire piece, print it out if you'd like to, or use your iPad if you want to save on ink, and write in all of the notes in treble clef first, and then go through and write all of the notes in bass clef. So for this, you'll start, okay, E, D sharp, E, D sharp, E. And you'll start through all 5 pages, and it'll probably blank out for you guys at some point. So it's really long, But by the end of doing this, you will actually be able to play the piano pretty well. Can I play it? I can play a little bit of it for you guys. Let me just do the audio so it won't mess up. Um, you all know it. I know you do. Okay, so it's that one, Pure Elise from Beethoven. That's just the first little part. I actually just stopped right under that one. That's not that bad. Pure Release really isn't a very difficult piece, but mostly to learn how to read music for you guys. Okay. So that was trick number 3. So as a review, trick number 1 was memorize all your acronyms. Trick number 2 was read by interval. Okay. The seconds, the thirds, the skips and steps. And then trick number 3, which you don't like, is put forth the effort to actually learn it. Now, how to do the playing part of the sheet music, part of this uh, actual class is on, read easy tricks for playing sheet music. So I have something I use with my little kids. It's called How to Practice, which is where to me playing really comes in. Getting good habits to practice. Oops, let me do something. Okay, there we go. It's very colorful because I work with kids. I'm telling you that right now. So, um, each of these is really helpful. If you apply them, I promise. So, choose a section for each piece. Like when I played Pure Elise, I just did like I think it was 6 measures, which is those little things broken up. About 6 measures is a good section for a piece. Sometimes it's 4 measures. It should be logical though. Pick a little spot that you can bite size eat and learn. Then you're going to pick the harder hand and learn that hand's part from memory. Also, very important. Um, why would I have you pick the harder hand and learn it from memory? What do you guys think? Yes, whoever said that, spot on. Danielle, awesome. Good job. Exactly. Good, Zainab, because you can learn it better. Generally, say generally, we don't want to put forth the effort to do the harder hand because it takes longer. So that's why make sure you learn the harder hand first because it'll be easier to put it all together. And you'll also feel better about yourself. Like, oh, I finally did it. When something's really hard and you get it, you're like, yes. So then, um, the next part is putting both hands together. Woo, it went away. Putting both hands together perfectly at least 5 or so times. You don't necessarily have to do 5 times, but it's a good shoot goal. So, both hands together perfectly. I define perfectly at the end, but how would you define perfectly? We're humans, we can't always do perfect. So, what do you do I have flies? No, I'm Italian, I gesture. My hands are involved in my speech. I can't actually talk without my hands. I'm even doing it now, you just can't see, I gesture below the camera. So, perfectly is basically, as good as you can. Try and get no mistakes, okay? No mistakes is generally perfect, okay? Okay, using the same fingering each time. What is fingering? Fingering. Couple people are typing, so I'll stop talking. Writing in definitions does take longer. What is the same fingering? I saw someone typing and then nope. So fingering has to do with your fingers and the same fingering. Yeah, the same notes with the same fingers. Good, Tracy. So basically, instead of playing Ode to Joy with a different finger every time, like E, E, F, G. If you wanted to do like E with this finger, it wouldn't make sense. You wouldn't do it the same time every way or the same way every time. So that's what you want to try and make sure you do because you learn a glorious skill called muscle memory. Muscle memory is the same thing. The reason you can take a glass and take a drink of water and not smack your face every time, that's muscle memory. So you can get that with your fingers too. And once you gain muscle memory, it makes it so much better. So we have next one, only practice that section for the day. What does that mean? What was the section? Do you remember? I'm happy, Nevea. That's why I smile so much. Yeah, good. So the selected measures that you wanted to do, practice that for the day. Good. And then practice at least 15 to 20 minutes daily. I had a student once who would practice once a week for an hour, and he didn't improve very much because it didn't really have that daily practice. So daily practice is way better than doing a ton of practice once a week. Try it. For a lot of my students, exactly. Thank you, Zainab. If you try and play all the sheet music, there's a better chance you won't accomplish it. Yeah. You won't learn it. You'll be able to maybe sight read it, but you won't actually learn to play it. So good. So yeah, practicing little bite-sized pieces really helps you. And this sheet will be there for you guys. You can download it later so that now, so that you can get some good habits in practicing before you actually, start to do it wrong. Don't get your bad habits. Okay, so last thing we're going to do is kind of tie all of this in together. And we're going to look at the one in the chat called chopsticks. So we have a couple little spots to make sure everyone gets all the three concepts and the sectioning off concept as well. So let me turn my face. Might know this song, might not. That's okay. Fingering is also indicated by the 1 and 2. I never said that. Your fingers have numbers. Your thumbs are number 1. Your second finger is your pointer finger. Middle finger, fourth finger is your ring finger, and pinkies are 5. So same finger, same number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you see the 1 and the 2, that means stick it on the F and the G for that. Okay. We're only going to do the right hand for now. So all of these are what's interval? How far apart are these two notes? Yeah, good, Tracy. Hmm. Oh, quick question. I don't know if my audio cut out. Did you guys hear me when I said the fingering? I just want to make sure that my audio didn't cut. You didn't. Ah, okay. Let me say that again. You're probably like, why is she showing her hands? The little 1 and 2 you see over here is for the fingering. So thumbs are 1, second for pointer, middle is 3, 4, and 5 pinkies. So the same finger is the same number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Just want to make sure you guys heard all of that. So 1 and 2 fits on F and G. And then I can see that these are all the same interval. They're all they're all seconds, sorry. Then I have this. So what's my interval? And pick one of the notes to read, the bottom note or the top note. Probably the bottom note you'll read first because of the way the acronyms work. Every burger deserves fries. So the note I'd be starting on is and how far apart. Yeah, I like to read the bottom note too, Nevaeh. So this interval is skips or steps? Let me say it that way. See if you guys remember. Good, Lucy. So skips because they're thirds. I'm skipping over F because F is in that space that the little hand mouse thing is on. Yeah. So E and G are my notes. All I have to do really is read E, and then I can read skip if I want. So I have 6 of these. 4, 5, 6. And then what is my next interval? And read one of the notes, either one. Yeah, good. So my F on the bottom, and then how far away? Good. So I have the F and a skip. I mean, not a skip, a fourth. A skip is bigger. A fourth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this one, I don't think we actually did this in the game. So how far apart are these notes? Don't let the fingering fool you. Nice. Good job, Nevaeh and Zainab. Mhm. And Lucy. Good job. So a 6 for this one. These are not the fingering you would use. I just want to make sure you can see them. So an E on the bottom and then 6 notes up. So from over here, I would have the other way you could read this if you wanted to read the intervals. You have a fourth all the way across. Your bottom note goes down 1. Your top note goes up 1. It's easier to see it on the piano, actually. The F and the B, 1 down on the bottom, 1 up on top. So a lot of music is reading the patterns of it. Once you start getting familiar with certain patterns, it it just repeats. So you'll read fourths against sixths a lot, so it'll make sense. It's time for songs. Give me like 2 more minutes, Danielle. I heard your morning. Was that morning that you were playing? Sounds good. So you have the sixth, another sixth, another sixth. So which of these 2 notes, the top or the bottom note, should be the note I'm reading for my next note? Think of it that way. The important note, I'm gonna say. Yeah. So if you're reading the top note, it's easier to see, oh, that's just a step down. Versus if you're reading this E, then you have to think, okay, it's a fifth. You probably won't see that as quickly. My brain went to C and go 1 down. So if you wanna try and read it that way, it'll be good. So C, actually you have the sixth, and then down, down. Okay? So let me just play that little spot for you so you know what that sounds like. I'll play it with left hand and we'll go over left hand really briefly. Do you guys recognize that one? This was like one of the first songs I ever learned. No? Okay, that's okay. So, what is the interval? Let me zoom in a little bit for this. Couple more questions for you guys, and then we'll do songs. Good. So it's harder sometimes to see how far apart they are when they're so spread out. But yes. What are the 2 letters or just one of the letters? And you know it's the 5th up, or you can think of it's the 5th down, which is your sight letter. Yeah, good. So a G and go down a 5th, or you can think it's a C and go up a 5th. Probably you'll think G go down because we read from left to right. And then these 3 notes. They're each spaced in the same way. How far apart are all of these 3 notes? Good. Mhm. G and E and C. Good. So they're all spaced in thirds. You have the G space down, E space down for that one too. Good. All right, awesome. So a little review before make sure everyone remembers it. So our first tip was memorize your acronyms. Promise they help. Face, every good burgers are fries, all cows eat grass, and grandma boogies down Fourth Avenue. Say it really fast because I remember them. And then read by intervals. So see the skips and steps in the music. Then your third trick was to put forth the effort to learn all of your lines and spaces in your music. Yes, you can use the tricks, but eventually you will have to just put it all together and learn everything. And then for reading music, make sure you check out that how to practice page because that helps a lot too. So thank you everybody who attended. I'm not signing off yet. I promise I don't forget about the songs. Just want to make sure if you guys want to leave, you can. But those of you who are on social media, thank you for attending the class today. Thanks everybody who was actually in class. Lucy, Nevaeh, Tracy, Zainab, Dana, Danielle, and Marie. And hopefully I'll get to see some of you guys at my next classes.